Hey, good morning, kids. I got to get that. There's an abrupt transition between that start and me showing up. I got to figure out a way to calm that down. That's bugging me a little bit.
Fade in or something.
Yeah, do something like that. Let's change the background too. I'm getting tired of that other one. Rory, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, my friend.
That's
I
Rory.
am. And yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. That's Rory talking to us live, allegedly from the UK, but potentially he may not even be British. We don't know. I heard like other
I may
people.
not be real. I
What?
may be a completely computer-generated entity.
You could be. You could be. Let's switch over to this view. We're going to get right over into this, and I'm going to show you. Actually, let me not do this. I want to switch to the. We're kind of close on this. We're loading some stuff up, but I want to get over and I want to show you the dice thing. Early this morning, I did a dice effect on here. That it was just a small thing, but when it was done, I was like, "Oh my god, it looks so good!" So I want to show that to you. I'll show it to you live over the stream. It looks like the die effect is not loading because we should see die by now. I think for some reason I have to refresh this, and I don't think I hit a breakpoint. There we go. There's the refresh coming in. And
There's some dice.
yeah, there's some dice. You also see a scroll bar to the right there. When that scroll bar disappears, we'll have SignalR connected and be able to connect it and control it remotely. So I'm gonna roll. I'm going to roll a sneak attack with advantage and with magic. So we're combining a number of different effects here on that. As soon as that scroll bar disappears, you'll see it. Here it comes.
Short delay because stream. Ooh, wow. That's a whole bunch of things.
It's awesome. There's one bug that I got to find. It's kind of a visible bug. That number 2 up there, that's still the dice that's still above my head. It's still there. If a die is in the process of being removed, when the others are cleared, that animation stops on that one and it just sticks around. I'm not sure what's causing that. I don't even think I want to necessarily find it here on the show because I'm like, I have a feeling that it's going to be a small change, but it's going to take a while to find it, to figure it out.
Sure, yeah.
Here's a sneak attack again now. Watch it.
It's like a wave of smoke.
It's so cool.
The entrance, isn't it?
It's so cool, isn't it?
It's pretty much Batman throws something at the floor, a puff of smoke, and arrives.
Yeah. The color changes of the smoke depending on the player. So
that's a nice color.
Also
like
kind of cool.
One.
Yeah. This is the player that's got the sneak attack that's going to be able to use it right here. This is Tarragon. Let's see his color. His color is kind of brown, a brownish orange amber color. But still, it's a number of different effects all working together, right?
Yeah.
And that's the essence of what I want the role to look like. That's what I want that's what I want it to look like. Here's my color right here. If I ever do a sneak attack, it'll come in with this cool purple color, which I like. Yeah, the smoke effects look realistic. Wasn't a lot of code. It was essentially the same code that was used for the wild animal attack, where we draw the footprints behind the dice.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense.
Yeah, speaking of the footprints behind the die, good morning, Michael Jolly. Michael's out there with us.
Morning, Michael.
I wanted to show, whoops, not the die roller, not the you. What?
Hugo, you took some time over that. Well done.
Yeah, you ditched the queen yesterday.
Good morning, Mark.
Yeah,
everyone.
We had
Not yet, sir, because he ditched the queen.
The queen is like, where is Rory? And I had stopped streaming before she finished her sentence because it was so slow. I think that was rude, maybe, but I don't know. So I think they're looking for me. What is that? Is that a mosquito? I've got a mosquito in the room, and kids, I hate mosquitoes. You'll see me go nuts on mosquitoes. I will just freak out and do everything I can to end that particular mosquito's consciousness. I don't kill them, but I knock them unconscious with a very skilled tap of the finger. This is a family show.
That's quite a skill set. That is.
Yeah. So it's
just enough, impact to stun rather than maim.
Right. Let me do this. Let me take my Dragon Front overlay. I'm going to just, whoops, that's the wrong one. It's the back overlay, which is called the overlay bot in OBS. I just want to turn that off for a second. I just wanted to show you, so here's the place puff code. And it's based a lot on the place paw print. And I used the CodeRushed image embedding to
Is lovely.
yeah.
That just clears up exactly what you're attempting to do.
Yeah, to
in
explain.
a single image.
Yeah, to what's going on, because the code here is a little bit, it's a little bit elusive to the mind if you're just coming in here to try to figure out what's going on. And I just went into PowerPoint, laid this out so that, because this was what was in my mind when I was writing the code, but I realized after I wrote the code that that this is, you're going to have to deeply understand it before you can get this visual. But if I just put the visual here, it would take less time. And I put the variable names right there on the visual, copied it to the clipboard, pasted it inside, and actually checked it in the source code this morning. So if you've got CodeRushed and you open up this file, diceroller.ts, you'll see this image here.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so kind of cool. That's for placing paw prints. Paw prints are a little trickier because they have to go left and right. It's just a single image. It's actually a single animation. That animation, by the way, with the paw prints, you don't see it. I'm going to fix that, because here, if you take a look at that. Oops, I rolled it on another page. Let's go. Is it that page? No. Check it out. I'm looking at tweening, guys. There it is. Hold on, I just found it. I'm alt-tabbing, and all of a sudden I saw explosions on my alt-tab screen. It was here. Here's where it is, right here. So if we do it, if we do the wild animal form attack, there's actually animation coming in here on those, but you can't see it. If I zoom in really far on this, and we do it again, you can maybe see it a little bit there before they go away. I'm going to make those flames bigger behind the paw prints. So the paw prints will have kind of this flame-like kind of thing behind them. That's one of the changes I want to make. Because otherwise I might as well just be using a single bitmap image. But I think it's way more interesting if they're burning as they come down. So my goal is there's basically 4 players, and each player is a special role that they can do. They've got one of our players is a druid. They've got the wild form animal attack. This is essentially almost done. I'm the sorcerer. I've got the wild magic roll, which basically looks like that. Kind of cool.
Yep.
Paladin has a smite attack, and I still don't have this nailed. I'll show you what I have now. I don't like it, but it's this. And by the way, there's a bug if I use magic with the paladin roll that the rings show up in the middle, because I've only supported the ability for one attached sprite. And I could do 2. I can add to 2 pretty easily, but I really don't think what I want to. The thing I'm doing with this kind of star thing, this spinning kind of glowing star, I don't think I want to attach that around it. I want to have instead an effect that goes and goes behind the die, similar to the smoke. Legendary Moose says CodeRushed has always been an awesome tool. Thanks so much for that, Legendary Moose.
Got to agree with him there. That's pretty true.
We're working hard. So that plus then this is so cool. I love this. This, by the way, this smoke looks way better on a dark background. In fact, even the rings. Go ahead. What do you want to say, Rory?
I can believe that, but it looks pretty good there. That sort of mist and cloud effect is pretty nice.
Let me change the player over here. We'll get some green smoke over here. That's also going to. You can see what's that.
I like that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's an efficient use of resources too, because we are. There we go. So these are a couple things. You're seeing this happen on the stream. You're seeing it happen behind the scroll, but you won't on the game. It's just because I've got this up and I don't have the dice page up. So that's kind of what's going on there. Okay, so let's disable overlay bot again.
Say careful. Don't shake that screen too much, or everything will minimize again.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking at tweening today, and I was like semi-convinced. So this is kind of a cool demo here. It's kind of demonstrating there's just a 1-to-1 1 to X relationship as I'm traveling through space and time, for example. But there are different ease equations here, like and they're kind of showing what they are. Right, where we
very nice.
Like
the
this
visualization really helps.
Yeah, back in, back out, where I kind of back up a little bit, go forward, and you can use these for scaling or for positioning, and possibly other things as well, I suppose. Velocity as well, I suppose, and probably things I haven't even thought of. But this is it's kind of cool. The piece that's interesting to me is either back out where it goes like there and comes back, or back in and back out, where we start to the left and we come back over here. We go back out and back in. That's kind of what's interesting to me. That's kind of the effect I want to do with text, I think
Yeah.
it's a natural feel to it. It's a very animated, natural feel. But I'm not sure I want to invest in this to the point where I'm like, okay, let's download it. Let's figure out how to use it. I actually think the magnitude, I estimate at this point in our juncture that the magnitude of task for downloading this, installing it, figuring out how to make it work is equivalent
Right.
to the magnitude of task of just figuring out and writing out one equation from scratch. And I really
Build it
only,
yourself.
yeah. So I'm totally,
I have to say, I would be very impressed. Not because I necessarily believe it's a difficult task. It's just that I'm looking at that and that looks pretty nice, right? And I'm thinking, sure, let's see how it works. Why not?
oh, you mean you want to go with the
No,
downloading chest?
I'm going to go with you want to build it yourself. I would love to see you build it yourself.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, great. Well, I don't think I'm skilled enough to do it today. Today is not this is either a 2-day thing. By the way, do you hear the dice rolling?
I can.
That's
yes.
my second bug. And I actually stopped. I looked at this yesterday. I was like, wait, what is going on? There's no dice on the screen, but we hear dice. We've removed the dice. Oh, wait. Will Bennett says, I created Tween Lib myself. It's not difficult. It's surprisingly simple. Are they rolling or settling? It's essentially settling. I checked into it yesterday. The Canon engine has got the dice out there still. And the dice are colliding with the floor like this. Ticka, 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 ticka. And it's triggering
in a corner,
and it's triggering the
bouncing
sound
consistently.
effect. Now it's not sucking up any memory, and as soon as we roll a new set of dice, these are all removed. So I'm like, should I just turn off sound effects, to fix the problem? Or should I try to figure out what's going on with Canon and why it hasn't released these guys yet, right, is kind of the deal. I'm pretty sure it's not a memory leak. I feel like really good about that, like pretty really good. I just muted it right there and there. I fixed the problem. But I've got two problems basically right now, two bugs that need to be fixed before we would go live. But that's one of the two. You know what? With Will Bennett saying it's surprisingly simple, I'm ready to go. For surprisingly simple for Will means that is
Do it in about a week and a half.
I can do that in about a week and a half on my own, and with Will and you together, we can do that in about a day or two. So I'm excited about that. Maybe we'll run that. We'll go forward and run that, and we won't bother downloading because, to be honest, I'm really not that guy that says, "Oh, let's use this library, use this library." I only do that on rare occasions. Okay. So we're going to say, hey, thanks for doing this, for telling us what it should look like, and we're going to get out of here, and we'll get ready in case we get ready to go in that direction to guide us. But before we do that, I don't think we're actually going to get to that today, Will, but before we do that, I think what I want to do is I want to work on the text effects and start doing things with those. I want to at least get them going in. Now, I created a class called Text Effects. In the last, it was part of the Dice layer before, because I just, how I was doing that, creating classes sometimes. They were in here. Then I moved them to their own class this morning and checked that in. So text effects are in their own class. I haven't changed anything in them. However, I realized, you know what? I'm going to do a lot of things with text effects that I already do with either Sprite Proxy, or Part.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
that
not
makes sense.
Yeah, Sprite Proxy or Part. So I want to look at those for a second and see what's going on with that. Excuse me, let's get Part up here and let's get Sprite Proxy up here and see what's going on here. So we've got one of the things I want to do, by the way, the rotation features. So the rotation features are part of what are making these die effects so easy to build. We added rotation, I think, last week or the week before. But when I wrote the code for the smoke behind, that was like 10 minutes to do that. And part of it was when I laid out the smoke effect, I laid it straight up and down, right? Yeah. All of our effects, if they're straight up and down, if you go in and do the code to, rotate them, they would just rotate the right way. So the first time I tried it, it just worked. And it didn't occur to me till like minutes later, like almost like 20 minutes later, oh, wow, I didn't have to do any tweaking on that. I totally lucked out. And then I was like, oh, because it was straight up and down. And I was hoping that, I intentionally did that with the idea that I wouldn't have to make any tweaks or adjustments later. So yeah, the rotation is excellent. Math works right? That's the
It
other
does.
thing, right? Math seems to be reliable.
It's this whole idea of building on the shoulders of giants. In this case, of course, yourself being a giant
Yeah,
who has built some of the earlier pieces.
That's
So
right. Isn't that funny? I'm building on my own giant shoulders. The other thing
there
that's
you go.
interesting is because of, I'm not as young in my mind as I used to be. I don't have a clear, absolute recollection of every single line of code I've ever written, right?
No, but then who does?
I used
That'd be
to.
crazy.
I used to have a much wider capacity. I used to be able to go back. I used to be able to, without looking at the code, in my head, be like, "Oh, I know where this is." Right? Oh, I know what the algorithm looks like. Now, what I do is I found that as I've gotten older, so my strategies are way better than when I was younger,
Yeah.
right? But I don't remember where pieces are, and because I don't remember where pieces are, I tend to write things so they're done. I seal them off. I make sure there are no bugs in them, and I finish and I say, okay, it's done. Now go, and I can forget about you. And so Sprite Proxy is kind of like that a little bit. We wrote it for a long time, didn't make any changes. Then we added rotation just last week. But now I'm thinking, oh wait, we need a fade in time. We need a fade out time. And check it out. Those are here in Sprite Proxy. Part is, I thought part was something we descended from, but part is not something we're descending from. That's good to know. Part is it something we own? I'm trying to figure this out because Sprite Proxy is
I
about.
can't remember. It feels like a long time since we've actually used part. It was there. It was, again, it's a bit like what you were saying a minute ago.
Oh,
It's
I
a
know.
thing that was done. It was placed to one side, and it's used by some stuff.
Yeah. So this
But
is
we don't need to directly interact with it too often.
This is essentially like the flywheel design pattern. But what's going on is the sprites class is holding a whole bunch of base animation parts. Is what's happening, and they're passing it in on the draw. Is what's going on. Okay.
Sure.
So that's what's happening there. What we want to do is we want to. Well, I'll give you a sense of it. What I want to do is I want to take these fading pieces and put it into an ancestor class and have both Sprite Proxy and our text effect extend that class. That's
Okay.
what I want to do. That's my hope. Maybe also
So
even.
do we have to have functionality in that ancestor class, or just the data itself that we'll react to in slightly different ways?
I want to have functionality there so that, or at least as
Okay.
much overlap as I can. So,
Fair enough.
for example, here, this get alpha, I feel like that's going up into the
That
ancestor
could probably
class.
fully move up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we have an expiration date, which makes sense. Life remaining.
Fade out
This-
time, fade on destroy.
Yeah, this looks pretty easily. All of these pieces could go, which means we're going to take fade in time, fade out time, fade on destroy, life remaining, or life remaining is local, sorry, expiration date, and time start, and
That's
opacity.
still a live function above. Probably could do the same thing. Same
Yeah.
kind of logic.
Yeah. So we're going to do all of that and bring that up to the top. So remove expired sprites. So this is something we would have to have a similar remove expired elements is what it would be. This is in, we've jumped classes here. We're over in sprites. By the way, okay, Roy, note the time on this. So I want to change something in tabbed index reference. When I go
Okay.
from here, one file, to another file, like that,
Yes.
I think I want a small little audible blip.
Yeah.
At the very least, just a small little audible blip when we change files.
Fair enough.
I
Just
think
so
that's
you know that that's happened.
yes,
Yeah.
because a lot of times my eyes are here, not up on top, and I'm like, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wait, how did I get a sprites array inside of my sprites proxy? And then I look
Yeah.
up, and I'm like, oh, I moved, and so I'm
Fair
like,
enough.
okay. So yeah, let's do that. I want to do that because I've been. This is a cool thing I love about this show is that often I have like small little nudges of changes I want to make, and I don't make them because it's like I'm so focused, whatever. But I'm like, I get them enough
Well,
times,
you can
and
keep
you're
going on it, and with a bit of luck, I'll have caught it.
and Rory gets it for us and helps us out. You're making the product better, Rory. It's awesome.
I'm helping.
So
I don't
still
think it's
alive.
me doing it.
So still alive. Looks like that's pretty much movable as well. Destroy by. That's we pull that up as well. Yeah, this is going to be sweet. So let's do that. Let's create a new class. We're going to call this
Love this kind of refactoring.
Animation.
The movement of pre-existing code into better locations to to effectively facilitate a new branch of functionality. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's a good, you're right, it is a good kind of thing, kind of refactoring. All right, so let's come in here and we're going to say extends animated element, and then we're going to grab those things. We need these two to pop them up. We need opacity. I almost want to argue that we're going to need an X and a Y for the animated element as well. It looks like we got problems here because we got to go call super, I bet, is the problem here, right? Super, and I want to pass in, I think, X and Y. And the lifespan in milliseconds is what I want to pass in, like that. And then I want to make these not public here. Let's actually copy all of this and kill the publics here. And what's wrong with this call? I feel like
It
this
doesn't take those parameters yet.
Oh, that's why.
The super doesn't actually.
I was like,
yet to paste.
I was like, of course that's right. Oh, but I haven't fixed it yet. Okay, there you go. All right, good.
Now the lifespan milliseconds needs to move up from sprite proxy. It's been declared down there somewhere.
Yeah, and there's a fade out time and a fade in time, and I bet you this fade on destroy is needed as well. So let's do the fade in and fade out time. Ooh, we could rotate text too. I don't need to do it yet, so I'm not going to do it. But
okay,
that would be also something that we could move up. Fade in and out timer have been moved.
So the conditional piece on lifespan MS needs to go.
Look how awesome you are, Rory. Okay.
I was looking around for a field by that name. I couldn't see one. So yes, sure enough, there isn't. It's the logic.
Time start. Boom, we got to take that out. Move that up.
As time moves on, it'll be interesting to see just how much empties from sprite proxy into animated element. There could be quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I totally agree with you that I think this is awesome to do. I think fade on destroy. Yeah, because we need that for get alpha.
In fact, it's interesting to note that there are two ways of doing what we're doing here, right? One, we're extracting an ancestor, a new ancestor class, and moving functionality into it. But potentially, the other thing to do would be to derive a new descendant class. But the reason this is better is because there's all sorts of code already out there, already pointing at sprite proxy, making assumptions about what it does.
Yeah.
And this way around, we get to leave it doing what it does. We don't change its purpose in any way, and we extract this new possibility. The other way around, we'd have to redirect all that other code to the descendant class, and it'd all get very complicated. So this by far the easier choice here.
So what's this delay start? Okay, so this means start later. Okay, cool. And that's a setter. Do I have a getter for delay start? I wonder if I have a getter for it. Maybe I don't. I feel like I intentionally did this. It looks like I intentionally did this. Yeah. Interesting. Well, I guess that makes sense because we can just delay the start by a certain time and then come back and ask time start. So I'm okay with that for now. So we'll.
I think it's because nothing external needs to know what that is.
Now, by the way, so there's a CodeRushed feature. I don't think Moonbase Alpha is with us yet, but or I mean Codebase Alpha, not Moonbase Alpha. But there's a feature in CodeRushed called markers. I can drop a marker here. I'm now starting to work up in the same file, moving down through the file. I'm gonna drop a marker here, come down over here, and grab the piece I want, like this, cut it to the clipboard, come back up, paste it, and I'm swapping now. Alt-Shift-Home swaps locations. And so I'm just swapping, dropping a marker at the last place, that sort of thing. I'm just gonna go do this, kind of just look at my code. I want to kind of do this. This is kind of off topic slightly. But I want to say other sprite.x, other sprite.y. And I want to put get distance 2 up above. So I'm just going to copy that to the clipboard. Do that right there. And this is going to be this, got get distance 2. And
so that's a nice abstraction. So now we don't need to go specifically to sprite proxy. We just do anything that has an X and Y in theory.
Yes. Yeah. Like that. And we could even do a vector kind of thing as well. And so that's going to be X, and that's going to be Y. Let's give those types. If I forget to do that, I can just type in TN like that, T for type and N for number, and it gives that to me right there. Okay.
Good.
All right, so we got get distance 2. Let's go continue to search through for these pieces right here. There's get alpha, we're in the right spot. And sprite proxy, alpha opacity is 1. We don't want that there. So I'm going to hit escape to jump back to where we were, put that up in the constructor, and continue to go through opacity using tab and X reference. I think we're okay. We're in wall sprite. See, there's the blip. That's where the blip is going to help me. Blip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I'm also thinking about a visual, but I can't quite figure out the visual for it. That's not, that's also similarly unobtrusive. That's the key. That's a trick. And I think the sound is the best. But then now,
Sound is good.
What about people who are deaf? Programmers who are deaf. I've got
I was
to
thinking,
install that.
what about some kind? How have you got? I can see it. I'm looking at you, obviously over Skype with a shared screen, and there is a red border around the whole of everything you've shared to me. And I was thinking, what about a very brief flash of a lightish color around the code window?
Yeah.
So it sort of flashes with a little bit of a white flash and then disappears.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think that something like that. It's outside. It's subtle change, so it's mostly transparent, right? It's not a big interruption to flow, but it's like the smallest little thing. Yeah, we'll. I think this is a great idea. Okay, so expiration date. Let's go through this. Destroyed by is still alive. We've moved to. We're still an animated element. Good. Okay, great. That's where I want my eyes, I guess, to be up there. Remove expired sprites. We're over in sprites. We got out. Okay, so we're good there. What do you want to say, Rory?
I was just wondering if anything is expired, then and we are removing on the basis of that. Is that something that we are? I think we are affected. I'll tell you what it is now. I thought you were still in Sprite Proxy because the file is Sprite Proxy, not the class, obviously.
Yeah.
So no, I was losing context myself there.
Okay, no worries. All right, advanced frame. So the animate is something that I think we're going to need to worry about. Ooh, and time to rotation time. Yeah, we're not going to really rotate text because it's not really, I don't think it makes sense to do that yet, but this code would all easily move up. All this code would all make sense because we're figuring out the rotation angle here and the auto rotate as well. Yeah, holy cow. There's like nothing in here that's related to Sprite Proxy. I think I'm going to move it up, Rory.
Fair enough.
At the risk of breaking more code, right? Every change I make is like a potential risk. I think I'm going to take this up. I'm just scanning this one more time to make sure that there's nothing in here that it doesn't have anything to do with rotation. This is all about rotation. Yep. And rotation is used later when we draw.
Is there any syntactic changes for fields which we're expecting to have access to in lower level classes? So, for example, to compare with C#'s private and protected.
Are there any access related? I didn't hear all of the question. Can you say that one more time?
So in C#, we start with, by default, you sort of choose private fields, okay? And then when you decided that you wanted to access these for some reason in a derivative class, you change their scope to protected, okay? Do we need to do anything like that in TypeScript at all?
No, these are all public right here. If I don't specify what they are, they're public.
Okay.
So I think we are. I think the answer is no. We don't need to do anything. Let me just go through this. Looks like I missed auto rotation. Rotate to.
Do we continue to access using this dot if we're in the derivative class relative to that item, or do we have to go base dot or something similar?
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time?
So we do a lot of this.
Yes.
Dot.
Just say it'll still work.
It'll still work.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff.
It better. That's how I design the language.
That's a lot of changes otherwise.
a lot of times I say here's reality based on the way I design it, because I have a sense of if you've got enough customers out there, you can't screw it up. So it's got to be right in some way to do that. Okay, hold on a second. We got some stuff in the chat room over here. Just need to take functions that take a
Well,
time.
Will's given us what looks like a complete play-by-play of how to do our tweening later on. So I think we want to hive some of this conversation off and just copy-paste it into our code later on. Because there's some great examples of pieces that we're going to need. Lerping, which I'm not entirely sure what that is. Oh, no, there we go, a definition. A function that interpolates between start and end value by that %. Fantastic.
Oh, I do that all the time. I write that just by hand all the time. The function take times returns a percentage. The function that takes the time and returns a percentage, though, the code of that is the piece. A simple tween would be t squared. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out the tween that gets me past the item and then comes back, right? That allows me to essentially accelerate, start here, accelerate to some midpoint, then start decelerating, shoot past it and come back. And then also control the amount of times I can, if this is my target, how many times I do this, what's the dampening that goes on before I settle, right? Because I really want to go and I'm in. I want to do it just like a human hand moves, essentially is what I want to do. So we start accelerating at the beginning and the midway travel distance, we're at our top speed and we start decelerating and then we come down like that. That's kind of what I'm looking for, is that kind of, so I can go like that and bring the text up and go bam like that right up in your face.
Nice.
Or even better, bam, like that, right? So it comes up past and then comes back. Okay, so we're continuing to move rotation up here too. So animated element, my eyes are up here as I tab to next reference, go in here. I wonder also if a sound occurs, so if we leave the class, Rory, but not the file. I want to think about this. Just put these notes down and I will think about this, okay?
Yeah.
We'll look at this. Looks like rotation did not come across, and so did auto degrees per second failed to come out as well. There they are right there. Let's get those two right there. And pop them up here. Okay. Let's just take each one of these, tab through them, see if I get out to... so now I'm in dice layer. No biggie. All right. Escape to go jump back. Go to rotation. And I'm in animated element. Sprite proxy, nope, take you away. I think I need start X and Y if I'm going to hold on to X and Y, because that knows where we were, and we're going to need those pieces too.
If your text is going to be moving, it's going to have velocity as well.
Yep. It's interesting. All of a sudden, sprite proxy, I should have renamed it, and then pulled out a descendant, right? But you're right about what you said before about this. Okay, so there's my rotation. Hold on, let's go back into what we're doing. Escape to go back, jump to tab. Sprite proxy, that's okay. Totally cool with that. And then we're dice layer, we're out. So rotation is good. We've gone through every single reference to that. Rotation start time. We are in animated element. And we are still in animated element. Oh, we're just circling around. Okay, we got right back to the top. Time to rotate. It looks like that we circled around too. It's target rotation. That we circled around. Target rotation. Okay, got it. So this is kind of an interesting choice that I made. I basically said, look, we can rotate to, you can give me a target and a frames and a degrees per second.
Yeah.
And I'll calculate it.
Be here at this time. Figure it out for me.
Right, but what I ended up doing is, instead of relying on math to work, is when we hit that actual time, we're done rotating. I nail whatever you say you wanted to be at. So we are, instead of relying on math errors or adding up and small little minor issues or timing or anything like that. By the time we're done, I'm like, okay, done. We are
That's
the
the standard implementation of a progress bar, right?
Yeah. By the way, the code.
Add all the pieces and then just fix it at the end, regardless.
Yeah. It is. This better all work. By the way, when we're done, we better not make any mistakes. Here we go. So that's why we're double checking everything. All right. Let's rotate data.
It's gonna work perfectly.
Roy's gonna be like, I gotta leave early today, Mark. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Opacity, I think we're good with. Expiration date. It's feeling pretty good to me, though. I'll tell you that much.
It is. I tell you what, as you go through this, it's looking better and better, because more and more you're sort of proving that you didn't actually code with sprite proxy in mind. You coded with the concepts you were trying to achieve with it,
Yeah.
and that you have specific properties for those specific concepts. So whilst it hasn't all been torn apart into different interfaces and things like that, it possibly could be, So it's very isolated in a way, and this is good because you've got one method that does one thing and it does it well. This is exactly the kind of goals we should have with our code.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm moving velocity up yet. I'm like,
No?
okay, fine. Now you're right. I should maybe I should. Yeah, I'm moving
If text
velocity
is
up.
going to move, then
I get every
yeah.
time I take a new block, I get nervous. I'm going to make a mistake and then break something, and then now I'm going to be spending the next hour trying to find what I broke. So I'm kind of like, let's move velocity after we fix everything. Is kind of where I'm at. I do want to move start X and Y up though. I do like those showing up higher.
They're any's.
What'd you say?
They're any's, not numbers. Why
Oh,
is
you're
that?
right. Looks like somebody else declared those for me. All right, I'm going to take
your code.
and I'm going to take last X and Y. All right, fine. We're doing it. We're going to take them all. So I'm going to do this.
Yep.
We're popping them up. You're right, Rory. When you're right, and you're always right. So we're going to do it. There, we've just taken
I've
down.
seen some things there that are very much sprite proxy specific, though, that will not be moving. There are one or two of them. Frame index. There are no frames for text.
Yeah. So, but that's also very cool. Sprite proxy starts looking like something that deals only with pictures.
Yeah,
right?
Which means it'll be easier to fix any sprite proxy related item.
Yeah. Whoops, not there. There is where I want to put that. Okay. Let's do that call to super. Oh, no, wait. The super's not here. It's in the other descendant. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to keep going down here. We got target rotation degrees per millisecond. Did we do that one? Yep, we did that one. Last rotation update. That one's cool. Opacity. Oh, yeah, expiration date. I think I was on expiration date. I did that. Time start. What do we got over there? Including Mark. Rory Clip, you're always right to play for the misses anyone who disagrees with you, including Mark. All right. Time start. Looking for enemy. There we go. We just got to sprite proxy. Oh, yeah, bounce. I looked at these already. Yeah, time start's good. Oh, we got down here to changing direction. What's going on here? It doesn't like the same name?
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at
I see.
get distance too.
Interesting.
If I
This is
rename that, is it going to make it happier? It doesn't like the same name, I think, even though it's got different parameters. That's my guess. Let's do this, and now go down and see if everything's happy. Yeah, that's what it is. All right, fine. I guess I can accept that. What else is going on here? Changing direction. Seconds pass. Velocity. Seconds pass. Velocity X. Get horizontal thrust. Holy cow.
Wow. Okay.
Hold on. No, hold on. We're okay. We're moving it up.
Those complicated algorithms.
We're going to have text that can thrust. And this is a family show, kids, so, we're not going to say anything else on that.
Mother of pearl.
That's what Mr. AnnouncerBot says. Also, good time for a disclaimer, speaking of that. Kids, as you're watching a live demo of...
Force and ignorance.
that's what's going on.
Yep.
Rory's here to make it sound professional. That's about all we got.
Trying to make it sound professional.
Ooh, shoot, though. We do have this. This, I don't think...
Right. That's a challenge, because we don't necessarily have an active planet now, do we?
But you know what? We must, because either or that, or it's never called in our, because that's in Sprite Proxy. We must be using it in our dice layer.
Wow.
So there must be enough there to make that work, or it's never being called, one of the two. I'm also totally fine saying no to this, not returning this, or alternatively saying, has mass, then it responds to gravity, or something like that. But you know what? For now,
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about it. All right, so now let's go with. So that means bounce. Holy cow! Is bounce moving up? Bounce is moving up.
Welcome to Sprite Proxy, the 10-line class.
That's kind of where we're going. Bounce is moving up. Yeah, this better all work. I better not make any mistakes here. It's going to be a nightmare finding those. Cycled. I think that's through animation frames. Let's get this. Cycled. Advanced frame. Well,
We
that's
don't
for
need
frames.
advanced frame.
Yeah, we don't
That's
do that.
fine. That's staying.
Yeah, so there's no cycling there either. Okay, is hit by sprite? No, I don't care about
Hit
that.
text, I don't think so. Sprite proxy version of that is
We
fine.
could change this to get distance to do it with the X and Y instead, but I'm not gonna do that yet. We got get distance to. We could do this. Who's calling this? Anybody else calling this? What's this? That's in the
That's
drone.
the drone game.
The drone is overriding. It's calculating from center point. Okay, fine. We're good. We're going to let the drone override that. That's fine. I'm not going to touch that code. Yeah, stop me from doing stuff like that. Path vector, sprite width, sprite height. No, I'm not going to worry about that.
Yeah.
Changing direction, this one, yes. That goes up. Change velocity, that goes up. So both of those are going to go.
Yep.
I'm going to drop a marker so I can come back here. And there's change velocity right there. I like that we decided it goes up from looking at it, and also it fills this error that was there, that was underlying. Okay,
absolutely.
good. All right, so let's see. Let's go back to our marker and continue to go down. Draw. Nope. Am I going to need another kind of draw up there? I don't know if I'm going to. In other words, I'm going to have a method, a function of the same name up above with different parameters. That's not going to be good. I have to give it another name. Is what I think I'm going to have to do.
Draw sprite.
Yeah, this one. Nervous about renaming that right now, but we can do it. So anyway, draw adornments, background and foreground. I like that. Where are we calling that? Draw. I like it, but I'm not going to do it yet. I don't think I'm going to move that up. Whoops,
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, I'm going to, whoops, keep hitting that key. Okay, so draw a background note. I'm going to skip over that. Matches. This is for finding things. I'm moving it up.
Yeah, because we wanted to have the ability to find an appropriate drone or an appropriate meteor, things like that.
And let's grab this and let's grab that. Holy cow. So we're going to grab those, everything here. Matches, store last position, update position. I don't think there's any sprite related things here. Taking that out. Nice. Look at this class though. It's much better though. So now we're back up here. Pasting those in. And now I feel like, holy cow, should we try a refresh here? Let's go up here. Let's change this.
Got anything in the way of errors that might otherwise stop things working?
To the drone. Isn't it the drone front overlay or something I thought? No, it's just drone overlay. It's dragon front overlay and drone overlay. Let's load up the drone game. Well, we're already seeing sprites up here. That's a good sign, right? These are all animated sprites. So that's a good sign. Let's see what happens if we come in here and we do drone, a command drone after it stops loading. Waiting for it to stop loading. Surly Dev said he couldn't make it today.
Oh.
So kids, just between you and me, I got a surprise for Surly Dev when he gets in with us on Tuesday. That surprise is a new SWAT command, which is going to allow me to go like this. And if he hovers his drone in front of my face, he's going to blow up. And
nice.
You know what I think I should do? I almost want to create, I don't think I'll have time for this, but I want to create a massive explosion effect for just like chain reaction exploding. He just like screams, all kinds of things. Looks like we didn't break anything.
I can still, oh, hang on. That's a Surly Dev comment there.
Oh no, he's there.
He heard you.
I thought he wasn't with us today. Never mind.
No, we were just joshing with you.
Yeah, just kidding, man. We love you. Put the drone right here. That's why you're here. That's why we love you. Okay. So cool. I don't think we broke anything.
It's looking good.
It's certainly not looking bad. I'm like, do I trust this? Should I do a hard refresh on the cache just to make sure? That sort of thing. It looks pretty good. Let's do a seed command and watch the plants grow. Yeah, there we go.
Can't remember how we do paint.
All right. So I think we're good. Paint is just the color. So it's just like red or something like that. I don't think I'm out as a drone
There
yet.
we go. Well, I think that's pretty comprehensive testing.
Yeah.
Unless we do you want to put up some things like portals and walls and things?
Oh yeah, we
I
can do
can't
that.
remember what the commands for
I
those
think
are.
it's like test. Whoops, I'm in the wrong window. Let's get over to the chat room. I think it's like test. I think it's CG1 if I'm recalling. Oh, there we go. Somebody beat me to it. Test CG2 says Hugo. There you go. By the way, I haven't seen
refactoring. That's just everything good.
the bug seems to be going away. You know the bug we had where the drones just duplicated themselves when they came out of a portal?
Yeah.
This happened right after updating to OBS. I think OBS improved their web browser.
That would make a lot of sense.
I think they
we never
did.
had it in Chrome, did we?
We never had it in Chrome. And I noticed this the other day. People were coming out of the portals, and I was like, what? Oh, you know, Rory, look at you. Rory. Rory.
Sorry.
What is going on? Yeah, never mind. I'm just sad now.
we should never again mention how perfect everything is.
I think we said we were going to do that at the start of the show. All right. Let me just do this for a second, guys. Okay. God, cannot drone on iPhone 8. That's why remember when I told you, I whispered in your ear, you should get an iPhone 8, Surly Dev. I was right behind you in the Apple store. He was like, I'm going to get a 7 where I can participate on Mark's stream. And it's like, no, get an 8. Maybe that didn't happen. So Surly Dev can wait, you got your drone out. I see Surly Dev's drone over on, I see you right here. You're right there, Surly Dev. So you are out on this one, and as soon as the page reloads on the stream, you'll be able to come out too. Yeah, so the bug is still there.
Ah, well.
I did not get that. Half of me is thinking it's a code issue that I can fix. I just have to figure it out. Look at this, Roy. You are like right behind. So you're right behind Surly Dev right there. Okay. By the way, as soon as we get done with this D&D thing, I totally want to build player versus player combat for the drones. I want to be able to drop things. I want to be able to shoot things up. When you hit somebody, I want you to be able to get some of their coins. I want it to be just chaos. And at first, when I was first envisioning this, I was like, no, we're not going to do that. I want everybody to be friendly out there. But now I'm thinking I want to change the spirit a little bit.
See, now my brain has gone to a combination Dungeons and Dragons versus drones. So we can have drones that cast spells that cause hands to come out of the wall and pull your drone out.
Pull your drone down into the surface and explode it as it's going down. Yeah, we can do that. We don't
a little
really
excessive. Or...
No, it's perfect. All right, so next, that's step 1. Step 2, animated element. We need to go to our text effects and descend from that. So text effects, we're going to come in here and we're going to say extends. I'm really nervous that what we're seeing isn't really happening, that there's got to be a bug in something I did, but you know.
Like that one there, with the constructor that's covered in red line.
Yeah, so, well, we just did this. So let's come in here. So we're going to come in here and we're going to say X right there, Y, and maybe that's all we need. I think, and then we're going to come in here and we're going to say super, and we need its lifespan. But we could say we could do the same thing here. Let's go drill into this for a second. Let's grab that lifespan declaration, selection increase. Really, it only gets me there. I wanted the comment too. All right, like that. And so there's my text effect. It's got an X and a.
Pass that into the super call.
Yeah, there's also something over in sprites. Sprites has got the removed expired sprites. We need something similar. I'm glad I remembered this. Over in text effects, right here. Remove expired text. Like this. And now we're going to go through all of our text effects, like this. And that's going to be a text effect, like that. Whoops. And let's rename this. Okay. And now destroying and removing, we didn't grab.
Move those?
Yeah, it looks like we need destroying, removing, and is is what we need.
Okay.
So, but that's good. I'm glad we're here.
Let's slimline that sprites proxy class even more.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's go to sprite proxy, and we're going to get destroying. Let's find it. Destroying. Not in drone, but in sprite proxy there.
That's the one.
And so it's destroying, removing. What do we got left in here? It's nice, though. It's really nice in terms of a class.
Yeah.
It's much shorter, much smaller. All right, so we're going to take destroying, removing, and I think there's another one, is removed or something like that. Oh, wait, what's going on with return this?
This.
Oh, sprite proxy. Set fade times.
Ah.
Uh-oh. Let's see what's going on here.
Right, yes.
That's needed to do the right thing. But you know what? We're going to add when we call add, we're just adding. I think all of this is still working.
So we just got to change the return type.
Yeah, I think that's all we have to do.
Animate element.
Yeah, and I think it's all going to work. That's what I think.
Because we've already brought all the other things involving fading and stuff like that up into animate elements. So
yeah, and everything, and the code's still working. We're returning this, and so this is it's still returning it's just that's just a kind of a compile time thing almost right there. So, but still, I'm glad we looked at that and figured that out. So we've got the removing and destroying. What about what was the other one in there? What's going on here? Oh, constructor needs arguments. All right, we'll figure that out. In a second. Is removing.
One tiny thing. If that was previously not compiling, does that mean it didn't generate the code and what we were playing with was not the refactored code?
Oh, I hope that's not the case. I thought it was. No, I'm pretty sure it did generate it even though it wasn't compiling.
Okay.
We could verify that by looking at the date time out there in the documents. Like if I said, let's just change this to a number, and I save it, sprite proxy, and I come over here in the script documents. They're not in alphabetical order. Why would they do that to me? I don't even understand the order that they're in. If not alphabetical, at least do it by length.
Perhaps load order, if this is actually at runtime?
Well, let's see. Does it look like that's the case? Signal R folders. Yeah, it's load order. That's what it is. Okay, so we'll just scroll down with our eyes. There it is right there. See if we got a... we got animated element, and the end of animated element, we have we don't say what what we're returning. It's just this. See what's happening?
Ah, interesting.
So,
yes.
but let's now make a change and verify those still that it's working. Let's say, call it fade times S, save it, come back over here. It's not. Is it because you're right, Rory? Let's save it. Let's change it, and let's go back over now. It's not even updating it at all.
Huh.
I don't even get that. Is it because it's open?
Oh, is something else not able to reference the set fade time S, and therefore, well, mind you, that sort of proves the point as well. If
I don't even know what's going on. Oh, you know what? I bet it's when I refresh. I bet if I refresh,
right
over here, we've broken everything. But if I refresh it here, let's see if it changes the code then. It just took it away. It removed it. So I bet that's exactly what happened. What an interesting theory, huh? Where's sprite proxy again? Splat sprite. Where's sprite collection?
a little higher. There you go.
There it is right there. Okay, and now if we look at this, I bet the code is different. No? Oh, yeah, it is. It's good. There's
Yeah,
our
it is.
S that we added. Okay, good.
Okay, that's a good sign.
All right, so let's fix the world again. So we're good, living a good world and let's go back and refresh because things are going to be crazy here when we start to move.
So the stuff in the script documents there actually represents not what's on disk, but what is being used by the browser that you're debugging with.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? If we make a change and we want to, if we're at a breakpoint and we make a change and we hit run, it doesn't work like edit and continue does in C#. You have to hit run, then go to the browser and refresh, and then do your next breakpoint action, whatever that's going to be. So is removing. This is the piece we need to move up right here. So we're going to take is removing, bring it up to the top up here. And let's just tab the next reference on this right here. So we just jump immediately over out into sprites. Right here we go from sprite proxy to sprites. Good. Good. I think we're good. All right, that's awesome. And now back we can go over to text effects, and there's our remove right there. So we're just going, we've got a backwards remove expired text. Now we just need to call this. We also need to solve this problem right here. With text, I have a center position. What's going on with center? Let's see, center is there. There, okay. So I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to use the X from the parent. So now when we create something, it's going to be the center, but the XY will be the center of the text. That's what I'm going to say, because I just think that makes so much more sense for all the display stuff I'm going to do. Come back up, center is gone. And we can go ahead and keep the vector, but we're going to pass in the X and Y from that vector here. X and Y. Okay. And
it's our lifespan.
Yeah, we can do the lifespan too. I guess we can do the lifespan. I guess that actually makes sense to do, especially for what we're doing. So let's add the lifespan to this as well. So what that means is we're going to, let's jump in here. Let's get our lifespan again. Lifespan's not being used here. That's important. That would be a bug. Okay. And I want to grab this. Come back over to where I was. Where was I? I don't even remember.
You're in text effect. Down in the, you just removed the setting of a center, then you come back out to the constructor. So you were in the add.
I was in text effects. I was just above a little bit. I was in the text effects, which is the plural of it, the collection of it.
I see. Yes.
And this is what I wanted to do. There we go. There's my lifespan there. Then we're going to pass in lifespan here. And I think that's it. So that's pretty cool. So now let's go find our adds and add some lifespans to it. What? I'm hitting tab to next reference. That's weird. And removed expired text. Let's go see where text effects is being referenced. Why no? Why is it not finding it? Is it because I did this during edit and continue? Is that what just happened?
Maybe.
So in edit and continue, I've been running for more than the show. I had this running before the show started, and I just broke this out into its own file while I was still running, I'm pretty sure. I'll show you here's why I think it should work. If we go into our overlay manager and we look at our pages, we look at our die roller. Oh, wait, I know why. It's because we don't have this loaded. I bet you if we bring up our die roller, then tab to next reference will work. Is that going to really make the difference? That's a really interesting thing to learn once that loads up. If not already, let's see what happens now. If I hit nothing, let's see when it's finished loading if it works. That would be really crazy. Nope, it's not working still. Okay, then I'll show you why I think it should work. I'm going to go over here into my dieroller.ch/thm, and I'm pretty sure if we search, I'm going to find text effects. There it is. It's there. So I made this change while we were still running, but tab to next reference isn't finding it, and which means also I think we're relying on Visual Studio for that, which means Visual Studio is not finding it either. So let's go to Dice Layer, where I think we're using it somewhere in here. There it is. There's text effects. So let's see what we're doing here. There's add dice label.
There's the add. Yeah.
Let's give it a duration now, a lifespan in milliseconds. So let's say it's 3,000, like that. And what else is going on with the text effects here? There's probably a render. So we render them all. And then I think if we don't have anything else in here for render canvas, I think we're going to have to go in and call remove expired text. Oh, look at this. I changed my, this is a CodeRushed bug.
Okay.
Mark this time. I changed to light theme and then switched to dark just before the show.
Oh, I see.
And I'm still, and Visual Studio says, it warns that this might happen with some of its windows, but it just happened with our window. Our background and foreground text color are wrong, and we need to update that when the theme changes. Does that make sense? Okay, remove expired text now, like that. And so now we'll clean up that code. We'll clean up those text effects. So now, then all we have to do is go back to the die roller, the die roller.ts. Right there, up at the top, I've got a show text effects, show text values. Let's move that up to the very top, and let's change that to true. And let's see if we now will see on the die rolls, we'll see the text effects, and will they fade out on their own?
They're gone. Not so much of a fade, but they did disappear.
Well, because I didn't set a fade out time for them.
Yeah, which is good. There's a 7 versus an 8 there. That was wrong.
Wait, whoa. You saw it to the
Yeah.
right? I won't be able to see it on the stream. I think the chat window held it.
In fact, they're all off. They're all off by 1.
Oh, that's actually cool and good. Because
Okay.
these are D10 dice, and I was making some changes to the D10 dice. If they're all off by 1, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're totally
Okay,
good
cool.
there. Let's, I don't think they're going to be off by on the others. Let's do a sneak attack. Let's
Love
see what
that
we got
effect.
here. 6,
6,
1,
1,
15.
10, yeah.
Yeah, these are all good. Yeah, I was making some changes to the D10. The D10 is tricky because there's 2 D10 dice. There's one that's a normal D10 and another one for Wild Magic. Wild Magic
Okay.
starts at a 0. They're both off by
Okay,
by
yes.
1, though. They're both off by 1 on that.
That was correct. There was a 60 there.
No, I'm talking about the one above, the 5.
okay.
There's the one that's a 60. I don't have a problem with that one. So yeah, it looks like the D10 we're off by 1. I'll fix that. Look at over there. -10 down here for the 00.
-10.
There's some work that needs to be done.
That's an impressive dice roll, that is. That is a truly magical dice roll.
Yeah. So we got to fix those right there. But let's look at the others. Let's do a normal attack here. 6, 19, 5, 7, 12, 3. Yeah, those are all good. Those are
The
all
basic
good.
objective here is completely, it's working. We have the text effect coming up, taking advantage of the removal, which was previously an inherent base effect of a sprite proxy, and is now been moved up into, is it animated element?
Yeah.
And it's worked.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's give it a fade out
the
time.
good code is in a better location, now being allowed to be applied to multiple things rather than the original one thing that it was originally designed for.
Yeah, let's make it, give it a fade out time to do it. Let's also make the scale like 8. Let's make it big. And let's come in and say text effect dot fade out time. Nope. Fade out time is equal to like 1,000. And let's give it a fade in time as well. Fade in time, let's make that equal to 1,000. And let's refresh. Probably should have made it 500.
That did not fade in. Or out.
My eyes were off. I was looking off to the other side here. Let's see what we got. Text effects. Definitely not. Are they fading out?
No, I don't think so.
Son of a nutcracker. Wait, I think I know why. I think I totally know why. Because when we draw and render the effects, we are not here. Let's go to render. Render. We're not using the opacity. Oh, wait, we are. Hold on. This side opacity. Hold on, though. Here's why. We're redefining opacity.
Oh, okay.
See that? I don't think we need center anymore either. Yeah, we're going to get rid of center. We didn't clean up here. I think that's it. Now let's refresh. Refresh. All right.
Okay, no, that's good.
So, nope. Still no?
No. No, that was pretty immediate, both in and out.
Yeah. Okay. Got some work to do. The are other sprites fading in and out? I guess is the question. What's a good test of that? Oh, I know. When we do the game, when we end the game and we dock a game, the walls fade away. So let's do this. So let's do a test. I think CG2. Do I have some walls? Okay, got some walls, and now I'm going to dock. Wait, the walls disappeared. What just happened?
Walls vanish.
Oh, somebody said test CG4. It was another command that came in.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened. All right, hold on a second. Test CG. I had my eyes off of it. Let's try CG2 again. And there are the walls. And then we're going to say dock. And let's see if they fade out. They fade. Okay, cool. So the fading works elsewhere. Let's just figure out why it's not
so
working
we
with
have
us.
not broken sprite proxy. We just have an ineffectual effect on text effect.
I think I know what it is. I think it's instead of calling get this dot opacity, we need to, or somewhere we need to call get alpha. I think we need a line that goes like this: this dot opacity equals this dot get alpha. There it is, right there. Now, I think that's the missing piece. I can put it in render. I'm thinking maybe I want to have another function where we kind of calculate and do things before, and then render separately. In fact, I kind of feel so strongly about it. What's going on here with get alpha? Who's calling this? I can't tap to next reference on that. All right, let me drop a marker here. Let's look at, just do a search through this file, or not here. I want to go to sprite proxy and do that here. Look for get alpha. Really only there. And can I do tab next reference here? I bet I can. Yeah, it does not like me adding it while I'm debugging, I think is the deal on that. So draw cropped, we're just getting it right here in all the draw functions. We're just grabbing it. Context, get alpha. Oh, interesting, times opacity. This is actually cool. I should maybe do that. Yes, because opacity is different. It's not, I'm doing this wrong here. What I need code that looks like that. That's what I need. Kill that.
Okay.
Because if I set opacity to half, to 50%, I still want it to fade in and fade out, right?
Yes.
So I still want everything else to work. So the times, the multiplier, it's this beautiful idea that because opacity goes from 0 to 1, I can use it as a multiplier on another opacity. And everything still works. It's just,
so one of them is it's sort of, this is my natural state, and then the other is the fading to that state and away from that state again.
Yes, and I actually want to bring this up with the kids because when I talk to them, they're homeschooled, and when I talk to them about multiplication and addition, I talk about it not only in terms of numbers but also in terms of dimensions. Like multiplication, for example. And I want to try and give them as many examples of it, right? You can add and subtract with shapes, for example, as well, right? So if I give you some shape and say, what's the area of the shape? And it's a circle with a square cut out of the middle of it, right? You can, and I tell you that the side of that square is R, right? And the radius, in other words, the radius of the circle, right? You can figure out the area of that shape once you start realizing I can subtract, right? Or I can add. So, I'm trying to get these kids to be, lateral thinkers as much as I can, right? Where they're just like,
very good idea. Yeah. Breaking a problem into pieces, figuring out the pieces, and then recombining them for a solution.
Yeah, and
great life skill.
And this is multiplication right here. We're basically using multiplication on a visual, on an opacity. What am I missing over here in the chat room? Here's some links for you. I had to look them up again. They were on my computer that crashed. Oh, sad. So
there's a whole bunch of useful things there from Will. He's talking about easing operations.
Perfect.
And various things like that, yeah. I'm
going to open at least one of these up right now so I can get to it later. There's the YouTube. I want to take a look at that. Super cool. Thank you for that, Will. I don't know if I've said this yet today, but...
Bill Bennett rocks!
Thanks, Will. That's awesome. Is / number a CodeRushed visual effect? Yeah, I think it is. That's font size. So if I do this, what's my size? Large font, like that. Large font. I think I can keep going. I think this is Markdown, I believe. There's two. Oh, yeah, like that. And as I add, you can see it kind of changes size. So I can kind of do font size. Also, the color of the font is, you can determine the color of the font as well. What we're doing is we are taking your basic comment color and we're lowering contrast as it gets bigger and increasing contrast as it gets smaller. So that's kind of what's going on there. That's our default, but you can set any color you want for those. The options for those, here I'll show you the options for those so you can see that. That's in our rich comments options page. So come up over here, type in rich, get to it quickly. And this is what we're looking at right here. So you can basically specify the contrast for each of these right here. Or you can specify a custom color, whatever you want to do for each of these. But you can give each one more or less contrast. And this is, so you can use 3 pluses or a single one of those right there. That's what's going on. Yeah, it makes the text bigger. That's exactly what's happening. So we're moving the text basically up or down. I've actually used the small text a couple times in the show I do, something like this, like fixes memory leak. I wrote something like that out before, maybe not that small, but it was like maybe something like this. And I even hid the comment with a backtick. So a backtick here will hide the comment delimiter, and then I put that out at the end of the code. So whatever that was, I did this, and so now what happens when you get out there? There you go. That's what it looks like. And so as you're scrolling through the code, you see this small little thing. It's clearly not. It's not. It doesn't look like it's
not
code.
the normal font size.
Yeah.
And actually, that contrast of size is what adds to you spotting it. But it's not a glaring thing.
Yeah.
As you say, as you scroll through it, it kind of highlights. Yeah, take a quick look at this. This is what does it.
Yeah, I liked it. There was something about it that resonated with me. It was like I liked it. It was like I am telling you what this thing to the side does without all the visual noise of this and the visual noise of the size of the comment, right? Which is kind of big here. So I did that, and I like that. So you can play with that. There's other things you can do too. If you go into that options page, go down to the bottom. You've also got comment colors here for like do's, bugs, hack, undone, question, important. These, if you put these letters after a comment, you do the rest in these colors. If you put a question mark or a bang symbol or the exclamation mark, you'll get those colors. So you can choose these colors too. You just click on them and pick a color, whatever you want there. But you've got those colors as well. So when I come in here and I do a /T for to do, it's actually changing my comment color. Here's my normal comment color, and the to do comment's slightly different. If I come in here and change this to say, for example, hack, for example, there you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
Or bug, you've seen me do this sometimes in the show here. So those are some of the other options that you've got there for colors. Okay, now that we've done all that, let's refresh. I should have refreshed. Shirley Diff says, I'm so re-loving CodeRushed. I watched Codebase Alpha show with you on it yesterday. Cool.
That faded in and out. That's
good. Yeah, Roy, I'm glad you have your eyes on it. I'm looking over the chat room, and you're telling me things are working. That's awesome to hear. So let's see. Yeah, there's the fade in.
Good.
Now, there's a small problem that I don't like. I was anticipating this was going to happen, and I did a test, and I didn't see it. Well, the fade in's okay. No, wait, it's maybe okay. There was a little...
There was a glitch as it went out there.
Glitch as it went out. There absolutely was. I almost feel like it was a time glitch. It's just at the end.
Is that thing where you get X percentage of the way through and then you just jump to finished?
I don't think so necessarily. I think that there's a problem with the get alpha code. I think the get alpha code now, I think we want to, I wonder if we call removed expired text before we render. I think that's going to solve this. I think we switch the order of these two. That might solve it. Because I think what's happening is it's expired and the get alpha call says, well, we're expired, we're done past the thing, and it just returns a 1. We could also fix the bug in a get expired. Let's see what happens here. That fixed it.
Nice.
So not bad. Roy, how are we doing on time, buddy?
Success. I'm pretty much to the point where I kind of got to leave. And I feel like I've won today because you just showed me all the cool stuff.
No, the really cool stuff starting soon, right now. We have Liam Neeson, who's going to be talking about his new movie, Taken 14. And he's going to be here, and he was really looking forward to talking with you. But okay, I know that's your favorite movie, the Taken series.
Yeah.
We're going to give away a copy of right now because, Rory's here. Rory's leaving. Rory helped us out. By the way, if you're out there right now and you want a copy of CodeRushed, you do not have one, let me know. Most people out there right now, I recognize, I see you, and I think you've already gotten your copies of CodeRushed. Straight Butter, I don't know if you're out there lurking or not. Should I check before I start talking to Straight Butter? Well, if you watch it, if you're lurking, you'll watch it later. Straight Butter, you should be taken care of. You should have the download instructions. Double check that.
Yeah.
Here comes the winner. Today's winner is
8-bit hug.
8-bit hug. Mr. Nutspot's kind of taking his job really way too seriously, I think. Anybody else noticing that? All right. Look at that. Do you see what Will's doing? He's doing the test rainbow with a fireball on the landing is what he's trying to do. He's trying to get that fireball hit on the landing. Excellent. So great. Cool. What's with the random white labels? Legendary Moo is asking, and I think that was the labels we were doing before. Rory said we're saying goodbye to you if you're still with us. Goodbye, and thanks so much. Okay, see you Tuesday. So the numbers that are coming up. So right now these look random because they're actually one off from all the others. The numbers are something else that's going on. That it's a test that I'm doing in terms of the color. I'm sorry, I said the numbers. I meant the color. Let's go ahead and fix this because what I really want to do is I don't want to do these text labels. I want to actually do text labels that are useful. So let's do that. Let's, it's so funny. I've added scaling and I don't have scaling yet for the sprites. I feel like I'm going to add that soon so we can scale sprites up and down. But I definitely need to scale text up and down. I think I'm going to add scaling for text in the text effect class, and later we'll move it up to animated element when we're ready to do that with the and Surly Dev is here. Surly Dev is right with me. Are we doing it? Am I going to write the SWAT command to do that now to blow up Surly Dev? Should we do that in the show instead of doing the text effects? No, we're going to stay on target. We're going to do the text effects. And I'll be doing this a lot to move around Surly Dev. Cool. But Surly Dev, I promise you, we're going to make that SWAT command probably by Tuesday, where I'm going to go like this, and anybody in front of me is just going to blow. They're going to do that. So that'll be fun. You guys can try to block me, and I will just continually do this, and you'll have to regenerate. So text effect. Okay, so I feel pretty good about that. I think that the outline thickness is a little bit too thick. I'm not going to change it yet. Let's go over to Dice Roller and see what we're doing where we're adding the text effect here, like text. Show text values always right there on it, I think. Add die value label. Okay, that's not really what I want to do. I want to do something else that says, I want to show the total damage. And I don't want to grab a particular screen position. I think what's going on here? Is this just for a single die? I'm in the for loop here, and there I'm out of the for loop. Okay, I see what's going on here. So I'm going to change this to show die values because we're going to need to fix that D10 issue. The D10 was off on its value. And but what I want to do instead is I want to come down here and I want to do a couple things. When we remove the die, I want to put a label up when we remove the die. And I want to put it really close to it, is what I want to do. And I want to say, check out that throw. Here it comes. Nice throw. That was a nice throw. And it hit right in the zone, the special zone that fires off the fire effects when we have those going. So I'm going to get the object, get its screen coordinates. I don't care about that. I don't care about this. I'm going to say dice layer dot add disadvantage text. And I'm going to pop that screen position in, and maybe that's all I'm going to do. And let's go throw that out there. Let's declare it. Let's jump into it. And we're going to add scaling here soon because I want this to scale and I want it to kind of retract and fade away. So here we go. We're going to add I'm going to rename this to center position. The value is going to be, this is the actual text here, I believe, right? Yep. So we're going to say disadvantage. And, oh, look, check it out. Rory is being highlighted right up there. I'm not going to change the font. I think I am going to set the font color, and I will make it red for now. And we'll say the scale is, I don't know, I'll do 6 for now. And the fade in time, we'll make it 500. And the fade out time will be 1,000. And I do want this to move away soon. But let's try that. Let's just roll. Let's refresh. And see if that disadvantage roll while that's loading, I'll show you what I'm doing over here. I'm getting ready for the disadvantage roll, like that. And there we go, we're done. So we'll do a simple skill check. Here comes a skill check with disadvantage. And now by the die, we should see the word disadvantage. No? That doesn't make sense to me. What did we mess up with? We added the text effects there. It's got a 3-second. Add disadvantage text. Well, I am putting it in the wrong spot. But I still should see it in the wrong spot, I would think. But I need to go to other die, get the object, get its screen position, to explain why. Add disadvantage text. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Should totally work. We should have seen something. Let's refresh. There it is. Here comes the roll. There we go. Okay, we saw it that time. I don't know why we didn't see it before. Okay, so we want to I'm going to stop showing the numbers for now. And now I want that disadvantage to drop is what I want it to do. I'm going to change the scale to say maybe a 2 for now. I want to stop doing this for right now. Show die values, turn that off. The other thing I want to do is I want to do the, should we do this? Should we do this? Let's do the scaling. Let's do the scaling. And we'll do that now. So, where's the added disadvantage call? Right there. I think I'm going to do this a little bit more like this instead. Let's pass in the die instead. And so we're going to say the die. I guess I'm going to get any type right there. There. Change that to center position. Add vantage text, pass in a string, message. So it's going to be text around a particular die. And that means message is going to go here. And I think I need color as well. And like that. And maybe we'll do the border color too as well. So now I can come in here and say add vantage text, die, comma, disadvantage. And comma, and get this color and put it there too. And then to support, that means we can also come in here and create an add advantage text, like that. Come back over to dice roller, and pop that right there. I think we can get rid of the console logs. We don't need those anymore. We're clearly removing. Now to support, I guess we can do a test just on that right now. At the very least, I will refresh right now for that. But I'm going to keep writing code while we're doing this. So now I want to say target scale equals zero is what I'm thinking that's going to go to. Target scale. So now I've got that, and now what I want to do is I want to go inside my text effect. Let's declare that actually. Declare it from here and then drill into it. There's my target scale, and the target scale, so it's equal to -1 by default. And then if it's not -1, if it's anything greater than or equal to 0, then we're going to figure out that scale and multiply it appropriately right here. So we are going to do this. Surly Dev says this might be a new question, but what's the CodeRushed shortcut on a laptop keyboard, the one that's keypad 0? I think you can just hit Control period on a laptop. Try that, Surly Dev. See if that works for you. No bot. Why don't we have a bot? Oh, because we're on the CodeRushed winner page. Is that why? That might be why. If we switch back here. No, that didn't work either. Why do we have no bot running? We're not. Okay. Well, I got a workaround for this. Close that bot. And start a new bot. There we go. Debugging? No, I don't think I'm debugging. I'm not. Doesn't make sense. By the way, let's do this. We've refreshed. Let's do the test on the last bit. So we're kind of rolling back on time here. I'm going to do an advantage throw now. Here comes an advantage saving throw. See if we see the word advantage near the smaller die as it goes away. What? Why does it say disadvantage there? What did I do wrong? Did I just write the wrong word there? Huh, I did. Okay, that would be helpful if I actually wrote the right word. And let's change this to blue for now. Okay, so we'll get the word blue there. Now let's go back and we're going to keep working on the target scale right here that we're gonna do. So that target scale, text effect. So we want to do this. If this dot target scale is greater than or equal to 0, then we got to calculate our current scale. Before we get there, though, I'm just going to declare this scale, and I'm going to set it equal to this dot scale, like that. And the computer does exactly what you tell it to. Don't you just hate that? Debugging, oh yeah, well, you're right. It's not my favorite feature about computers. It's not bad though. All right, we just got to learn to work with them. All right, so now we're going to say this scale is equal to, that means we also have to store the original scale in our constructor for the animated element. So we'll say this dot original scale because I have to be able to set this after this. I think I got it. Is equal to -1. All right, let's declare this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, so that's like an initial value. So when we first start rendering, we're going to say, we're going to do something like this. Hey, if this is less than 0, then the original scale is equal to this scale. Now we started doing it, so now we got that. Then we're going to say this scale is equal to, now we got to find our percentages right there. So we got to calculate that. So this is the code that Hugo was talking about earlier about what it is, the tweening code. So we're creating essentially a very simple linear tween right now, where we're just going from point A to point B. We're scaling without any, acceleration or velocity changes as we go forward. So we're going to say percent complete, and that's going to be equal to, well, we need to figure out how much time has passed so far. So in here, we're going to say time passed since start. Just time passed, I guess, is good enough. And that's going to be equal to now minus this dot start time. Oh, Will Bennett said it, not Hugo. Sorry, Hugo and Will. Yeah, it was Will who said that. Sorry. Okay, now minus this time start time. I thought we had a start time. Time start. Okay, cool. So there we are. Time pass is equal to now minus time start. Full life, I guess, is our other number we want to work with here. Or lifespan. I think I've got a function that calculates this already. Lifespan is equal to, do I have like just a this dot lifespan? No. Do I have a get lifespan? No. Why don't I have that? Oh wait, lifespan ms? How about that? Is that there? I don't think IntelliSense got me there. I think I'm not making that public out here in my super. I think I need that. Oh, I've got an expiration date. That's why. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we need to make it public. We can just use expiration date. So we can say lifespan is equal to expiration date minus this time start. Okay, so now percentage complete is equal to time passed divided by lifespan. We should guard against divide by zeros on here, I think. And I'm going to say percent complete is equal to 1. I'm just say we're done. You can give me bad data, we're done. And then otherwise, we're going to equal that. Okay, and I say bad data, but I guess it's theoretically possible that I could say time start and expiration date are exactly the same. I can set an expiration date, so let's protect against that. Now that we've got this, we can now say percent complete. And then the other thing I like to do, I kind of like making this code really easy to, for me, that's really easy to read. So here I'm going to say percent remaining, because I really don't like my -1 there being, my 1 minus. So we're going to say this is equal to 1 minus percent complete. Also, we should guard against this being getting too big. So we're going to say math.min 1 or that. It's going to be whatever's smaller. And I think we're going to take that and we're going to say whatever is greater, math.max. Am I going to get these right finally for once the first time? Between that and 0. So that's going to force it between 0 and 1. Right there. If my logic is correct there. What do we got here? Mr. Announce about talking. Okay. Yeah, Will Bennett was the one who helped us out with regards to that. Okay, percent remaining. So now I'm going to say that this scale is equal to the distance. Oh, we could do this. We actually may not need this right here. I think we can solve it instead like this. Where we say the scale distance that we want to travel. So we'll call this ln. Scale distance, that is equal to this dot target scale minus this dot original scale, right? And there's my scale distance, which means my scale is going to be equal to my original scale plus my scale distance times percent complete. I didn't need percent remaining. I only need that when I'm combining two things together. So there's this scale. Now, I put it here for font size. And I think that's going to do it. Let's do a refresh. While it's loading, we can review that code and see if that looks good to us right here. Maybe a good time to add the lerp function. Nice thing is there's no divide, so you don't have to guard against 0. You got a link to that lerp function, or can you paste it in the code, Will? I'm not sure what that is. I need to get a sense of what that is. All right, what do we got over here? So let's do a advantage saving throw here and see if we see it coming out in blue. There it is. Take away that. It should say the word advantage. It did not say the word advantage anywhere nearby. Well, okay, let's set a breakpoint then. I got nothing else better to do. Let's do it. Here comes the roll again. Do another saving throw. 2 dice come out. They're tied. Okay, we're still going to grab one. So what's our target scale? Our target scale is 0, so we're going down to 0. Oh, this is reversed. The original scale, well, the original scale is -1. Hold on. I got some disorder here with my lines of code. This needs to come down here. So we need to set original scale first, and we need to take my original scale and subtract. Is that right? I always get these. I also have to be careful because it's easy for me to mix these up. The place I want to go to minus where I'm starting. If I go 0 minus that, then I'm going to have a negative number. Scale distance is negative. I think it's right. So it's just the order of those two pieces there needed to change. All right, run. And let's refresh. I see. Got it. I think I need one. Yeah, the time is. So t is going to be just also a number between 0 and 1 is kind of what's going on. And what does lerp stand for? I don't understand that. I've never heard that term before. Linear interpolation. Excellent. Okay, cool. Got it. All right, here comes the roll after that. Here's an advantage roll. So the 6 is going to be taken away. It says advantage. And look at that. It's shrinking down. Nice. Let's do it again with, let's just do it again and watch it. See what we want to change about that. This 2 is going to go away. Didn't do it that time. Do we have something that only works the first time? Let's try it again. There it is. All right. Well, it's kind of going too fast, and I think its opacity is too strong, and it becomes unreadable as it goes down. I think I want it to fade out faster. There's like all kinds of things I want to change that. But I think the essence of it is correct in there. So so let's do the lerp function here. Like that. And start plus start complete. All right, that's cool. All right, let's use lerp, linear interpolate. And so that's going to be something along these lines. Lerp, and we're going to pass the start, which is the original scale, the end, the target scale. Yeah, and then the percent complete. So we don't need scale distance anymore here. So we got that, and then percent complete. And there's the lerp, this dot lerp. So let's see, lerp C for change, same as lerp, but with the end minus start pre-computed, so it doesn't have to be done every time. Yes. I like that too, a lot actually, because might as well be efficient. If you can be efficient without too much work. This is going to be change, and this is going to be this. The only thing is, as far as that change goes, we are computing it every single time. I guess it does make sense to store it. Let's go do that. Let's declare that. And set that equal to -1. And everything should still work. I don't think we made really any changes there. Here's where we are kind of playing with things. I think the lifespan is shorter. I'm okay with the fade out time. I think the fade in time is okay. The target scale, I think, is smaller. I think it's like 0, or it's bigger rather. Let's say like 0.5. And let's start from 3. And there's something else. I'm not liking. I think the border is too thick on the text effects right now. I want to change this down to 0.8, 0.7, and make sure I'm multiplying it. Oh, wait, hold on. I see the problem. Look at that. I don't want to change what I just did. I want to keep outline thickness where it is. The problem is I was using that's why it's getting so hard to read. That's going to make that much easier to read. Okay, good. Let's refresh and take a look at that. See if it's still using the new lerp C, right? Did we call that? Did I change the lerp C? Shoot, I did not change it. Oh, because I didn't change this code down here either. Let's do both of those changes. So we'll make this lerp C. do that, delta scale. So we're only calculating that scale once. Spherical lerp. All right, let's do the roll. Saving throw. Watch that 2 go away with the word disadvantage. No disadvantage. Didn't show up. Something's wrong. We had inconsistent results before. Is it going to work this time? What's wrong? What do we got wrong here? Shoot, delta scale can be negative. Ah, that's the problem. I think. If it's less than, no, but it would still, that wouldn't solve it. I can't use this as a test here yet. I think I have to make it undefined is what I have to make it equal to. Can I do that with a number? I haven't tried it yet. I think that's correct. But I don't think that's the problem necessarily. This code all looks correct to me. Let's refresh while we're looking at the code. See if that little change did anything. I don't think that did. That doesn't make sense to me if it's less than 0. Did I set that to -1 before? I think I did, yeah. All right. I don't think this is going to be any different. What?
Check out the chat room.
I'll check it out. All right. Oh, there it worked all of a sudden. What is going on? Mark, you don't want to use not to test undefined on a number because if 0 is used, safer to use equals undefined. Thank you so much. Perfect. Let's do that. Let's change that. Aside from that, though, that looked good. Let's see if it keeps working. We don't. It seems like we had an intermittent problem before. And we can see the text as it goes away. Good. So we're taking it away because you have advantage. That time we didn't see it. I think I need to do some console logging is what I think I need to do. Why would we not be seeing that? All right, well, let's do this. Let's do some console logging. We're going to send out the text here. We might be sending out, I just want to see if we're sending out when we don't see it, if we're still sending the messages out. And then I also want to, in my dice layer, I want to do a console log here, adding advantage text. That, save that, refresh. Here we go. 6 is going to go away. Okay. Let's do it again. Let's bring up the advantage is going away. Bring up the console log. Okay. Let's do it again. Saving throw. The 8's going to go away. Yeah. It's working now. Just want it to not work though. And I couldn't tell if that was not working or not because it was off screen. Let's do this a little bit and do it again. There, it didn't do it. Dice stop rolling. We did not add it. There was never a call to adding disadvantaged text. I did not think that was going to happen. I'm totally surprised that happened. How did we remove it? Is there another remove that we're missing? Maybe there is. Oh, yeah, there it is right there. Yeah, there are two we've got. Okay, that's what's going on. Yeah, we had this problem before. Okay. And this one is going to go with die this time. Yeah, I'd done all the work on one side and forgot the work on the other side. Added disadvantage text with that die. That's what was going on. Okay, cool. That's probably going to fix that. I'm going to feel pretty good about this. And that's probably where we'll stop the show, I think. Thanks so much, Will, for that undefined thing. I think you're absolutely right on that. I think that was a bug waiting to be discovered. Speaking of which, I think I'm going to fix the dice count bugs, and I think I'm also going to, yeah, Hugo, I don't think you have that ability to do that. I don't think we've given that to the group out there. All right, here we go. I think we're ready to test. Let's do it. Now we're expecting every time. There's an attack roll. 5 goes away because of advantage. Good. Let's do another one. Got a 10 over here. That's taking that away. Let's do a disadvantage roll. Here's a death saving throw with disadvantage. Yeah, I feel like it's pretty good. It's kind of informative. We need to change the colors a little bit. Here's the killer sneak attack roll right here with all the effects. There's the 4 going away. I think it's pretty good. Wild animal attack. Wild form animal attack right there. There's the disadvantage. Yeah, I think it's not bad. It works for me. Do like a few visual tweaks on this, but let me unmute this a second so we can hear and see it.
It compiles. Let's ship it!
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I want to fix the numbers on the dice. I want to see what's going on with that. I think I can fix that quickly. Hopefully can. What's going on with this? The top numbers, get top number. Okay, so what's going on with get top number? Let's go out to dice.js. The offset is the problem, I think, is what's going on, is the offset is not set correctly. I think this is maybe the only get top number in here. Okay, it is. So our offset, we need to set that on the correct ones here. So that's by default we're saying it's 0. Ooh, 10 by 10. The offset, it says it's -1. Something is wrong here. That 10 by 10 is going to be tricky to solve, I think. I think there's, yeah, the part of the problem is the original code. These are the texts for the faces. So like for a, let me go up here. So in the original code, here's a D10. They give me faces for like 20 plus an extra face at the beginning. And the code for this is crazy. I haven't refactored this or fixed or, done what I think is fixing this, but get materials goes through the entire length and creates materials for all of those faces, even though they're not used on these other dices, right? The D8, it gives me 20 of these. It's like somebody just copied and pasted all the way down, with the exception of the 4-sided die, which has got those faces on the different pieces of it. Yeah, there was kind of some good ideas in the original code, but they were not implemented solidly and robustly enough. So, so the D10 here is seemingly part of the problem here. It seems like I need to come in here. What I don't understand is why do I have a problem here, but I don't have a problem elsewhere? Because this is just text. I can put the letter A, B, or whatever in here. Let's go look at the code here and see if we can investigate this. Get top number. Get top number, that was the piece we were looking for up here. Get the upside value. Where's get upside value? What's that? It's going to the faces. Then it's material index is what it's doing to get the value. That's a little crazy. So that the material index, I'm assuming if we look at that other code that we were looking at, that's the material index, I bet. Yeah, pretty sure it's the material index because we're pushing as we go through there for get materials. Yeah, I feel like these face texts, they really concern me. I think they need to be much smaller in terms of length for most of these. So that means on a dice D10, the index, well, that's the index is 1 for that. So that should be okay for the D10, but the D10 is not working. I wonder if there's a subtraction happening somewhere else. I don't think so. This offset is concerning me here. Why added this offset for the D10? And so now we've got 0, 1, 2. Okay. I think this should look like this. This might take longer to fix. Whoops, sorry, this should be 0. So wait, hold on, 0. How do they know not to use the first index on it? There must be some wonky code in here somewhere for face text right here. Or must be, wait, hold on. Materials, get materials. Where's get materials going? There's the object. And where's our index into that? How do we know which, there's the geometry and the materials. How do we know which faces to use? I think that's going to be a little harder for me to find because I'm just not familiar with this code. So I think let's see if we can find a way out of this though. Dice D10. All right. That should be correct for a D10. Am I rolling D10s at the beginning? Maybe I'm not rolling D10s. I might not be rolling D10s. That could be what's going on too. So I wanted to look at the D10 here. So if we're taking that logic into here, this is going to be 1. If I do it like this, then the -1 works, I think. And then we're done because it's just we don't care about the rest over here. All right, so those are those. I think that'll work. Let's see what's going on here. Here we've got a -1 offset as well. That should make sense because our first roll is a 0. Let's go back and look at the code for the how we're starting off. And see what we've got here. Let's look for D10s. We're using normal dice D10s. So we're using normal dice D10s. Those values should not be off by 1. Except for here. I think this is, wait, that's me setting the value. I don't want to set the values on it anyway, I think. Those are the values for the roll, I think. Okay. Yeah, I don't get that. I am going to change this, though, I think, to our other dice D10 X01, I think is what that die is called. Yeah, that's for the, and let's do that. Let's do a refresh, see what we get. Whoops, I want to do, set this to true. See if those numbers match up. Stop that, refresh one more time. Off by 1. Yeah, they're all off by 1. Why is that happening? Let's go look at dice roller damage. Yeah, get top number. Let's look at it one more time. Upside value plus the offset times the multiplier. That upside value, it's somehow getting it correctly, even though it looks like not from the code we're looking at. So I'm not getting that exactly. So that means the offset for our D10 needs to be adjusted. Let's try it, see what happens. Change the offset to 0. Still off by 1. Did I modify the wrong one? That's by the 10. Oh, I did. That's the one I want to modify right there. Let's try modifying that one more time. Are the dice visuals generated? It really messes me with that the sides aren't consistent or correct. I shut that off, Hugo. They should be all consistent now. I turned off the code that moves the faces around. I was really not liking that code. I think we're okay now for these. Okay, so those look all good to me. Yeah, no, I was not liking that code either. Yeah, the code made some strides and had some great ideas, but I wasn't liking it. Okay, one other thing, or a couple other things. Let's look at the D10 by 10. So let's do this. I can just do a quick wild magic throw here and see if we get an 80 on that. We do, 80 and 2. Do a couple more of those. There's a 50 and an 8. Good. 10 and an 8. Okay. 30 and an 8. There's 30 and a 7, I think. Maybe I misread that. 96. Here's a 0. And a 60 in the bottom corner. I'm looking for a double 0 on the big die. Close, got an 80, which is right next to the double 0. Got it this time. And it shows a 0. Excellent. Cool. I think that showed up behind the chat window, but there's a 0 right there, right above my head. So you can see it right there. Okay, good. Let's try a regular D10. What I can do, just to get a bunch of these out here, is I can come in here and I can say 10 D10s like that and do an attack roll like that. Look at those numbers. Ooh, they're off by 1. The D10s are off by 1. Let's do it one more time. Let's do an attack roll. Here it comes. Yep, they're all off by 1. Let's do this. I want to just try D12, see if the D12s are right. Is it just the D10s that are off? From a bunch of these. Yeah. It's just the D10s that are off. Weird, and I don't understand it, but let's go fix that. So that means this one needs to have an offset of 1 as well, just like this. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me at all for the dice D10, but there could be code I don't see that's making this weird or different. Let's roll it again. I want to do another change here. Actually, I want to go into dice roller, and I do not. I want to change this to false. I don't need that anymore. That top number is this set value doesn't even apply anymore. We're done. I disabled that code. So it's not possible to set the dice value before the roll. Then I want to also go in here and I want to change the scale to, let's say, 6. And let's use that same effect that we did where we kind of faded out as well. Let's do that. Let's set its opacity as its max opacity, so it's not obscuring anything underneath it, to like say 75. And let's do the fade out time of I don't know, about 800, and the fade in time of about 200, like that. So we'll now refresh it. We're not highlighting it, so it's just gonna be white and black text. Refresh one more time and we'll see how we do here. Nice, that works. I'm gonna give it a longer lifespan though. Maybe 5,000 milliseconds. Refresh. All right, we're getting something here that I think we're going to be able to use. Yeah, the numbers look good. Let's do an attack roll with a bunch of D12s. Uh-oh, that took a long time to come out. Oh, it's not done yet, loading. Okay, got it. All right, now it's going to be done loading. Let's do it now. There we go, much faster, what I expect. Yeah, everything looks good. The numbers look good. Animation's working. Disadvantage. Here comes like one of my favorite rolls right here. Nice, leaving me with a 1. Okay, good. Let's check our D10s. D10s, do that attack roll. Make sure the D10s are good. Numbers are right. They look good. They look good. We'll be able to get our total here in a second. Let's change that to a D8. Let's do the D8 roll here. Let's do another sneak attack. And I have advantage on that roll. That makes sense. And the numbers look good there too. Let's do one more of those without the effects so you can see the numbers. Yep, good. D8 looks good. Change it to a D6. D6, numbers look good. All right, let's do a D4. Here comes the attack. Numbers look good with the D4 as well. They all look good. I checked all of them. Now there's a couple other numbers rolls I can do too out here. I can do a D10 by 01. I think, no, it's a 1011 is the code I use for this. And if I do that, it's going to put a whole bunch of those 10-sided die that start with 0. And those look good. All those numbers are good. So this is a special 10-sided die that has a 0 through 9 for using 100, for rolling percentage rolls, 0 through 100. And let's do the D10-10 and look at that too, make sure that's all good. That looks good. I'm going to do that one more time, try to get that 0 in there. No 0 yet. Try again. No 0 yet. There's a 0. It's behind the chat window, but it's good. All right. So I think that's it, kids. I think we got a show. There's a 0 off over there to the left. Good. I think we got a show. Thanks so much for everybody out there. Thanks to Rory, who is helping us all the time. Yeah, what you got? Did it show? Just showed 0. And that's okay. That's what I want, Hugo. You don't believe me? You just saw it off to the side, guys. Seriously. Here we go. Do it again. What do we got? A 0 up here? No zeros. Yeah, it's okay to just show 0 for the double 0 because I'm treating it as a number. There, right there, right there. It's right there. It's showing me a 0 behind Surly Dev. Yeah. So where's this other 0? Any other zeros in there? No. But yeah, because I'm just adding them up. I'm going to add them up and to give you the total score in a second. That's blocked over there behind. Yeah, isn't code cool, guys? What you can do with it? I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy. Those zeros are not coming. There's a 0 right above my head. So good. You wanted to be behind the chat window. Well, yeah, I rolled a 20 that went under the couch. You can believe me. That chat window is not going to be there for the game. There won't be that backing screen. The chats will probably go up, but there will be dice there. And I think they're going to roll on top of the chat window is what they're going to do. So, so that's likely to happen. Thanks to Hugo. Thanks to Will. Thanks to everybody else out in the stream who's lurking out there. Let me see who else is running out there, who we can send you over to, see if we can do a raid to anybody. And I've got to totally refresh this because the last time, it looks like InstaFluff is running. Let's double check it. If he is, we're going to go raid over to InstaFluff, get that thing going, and we'll say goodbye to you. Is he going or not? Is he live? He's live. Here we go, guys. Whoops. That was not the button I wanted to hit. Raid InstaFluff with 2 Fs. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great weekend. We will see you next time.